Welcome, all creatures. This is your host, Social Media GM. I appreciate you even for entertaining me right now. You didn't have to be here. So let's get started. This is my first official video. I did episode 0 just to have an intro to get to know me a little bit. You can check that out, of course. But now I want to really start getting into the content. So, episode 1 right now. Uh, let's get into it. Let's not even do too much talking. Oh, by the way, my last video, I had my hair out. I usually got braids. I covered it right now. I just came off of work. I don't really got no edge up or anything like that. So just yeah, this how I stay at home. And then I be wearing glasses sometimes. I work on the computers all the time. You see I'm on a computer right now. You know, just stuff like that. But anyways, let's start off. The segments we got is trade rumors and then we got free agency. Remaining free agency players. So I'm gonna deal with some people on the trade block or just rumors in general. You know, that's out there. I know there's a lot more trade rumors and possibly people out there, but doing the most notable ones, some of them I don't know if they're like even remotely real or not in a sense. So I hope these are real that I picked, but we just gonna go with it. So this is what we're doing so far. The people that I got is AK, Alvin Kamara, Dexter Lawrence. We got Marvin Harrison Jr. We got Devin Achan. We got Cole Kmet. We got AJ Brown, Brandon Ayuk, Anthony Richardson Jr. Yeah, I don't know why I'd be thinking senior, junior. I know his dad is a senior, but anyways, let's get into it. And once again, not the best editor, but I'm out here trying to get my ideas out, and I'm not about to repeat or like I'm gonna have some similarities to other pages, but you're here to watch different content. You didn't click my page to watch the same page like somebody else. So some of my takes might be a lot different or they might not be things like, that sound realistic, but hey, we're gonna go with it. Just hear me out. We're gonna see. We're gonna see. All right, start off. What we got? All right, Marvin Harrison. So my slides might surprise me a little bit because I just kind of put the slides together and I'm gonna just talk as I go. So I know I put Marvin Harrison on purpose because I don't know how true this is, to be honest. If it's true, I just put him staying with the Cardinals, to be honest. He should just stay with the Cardinals. It's too much draft stock into him, and plus he's supposed to be, you could say, to a fringe generational player. Let's say fringe. Only why I say that just because, like, excuse me, I guess the rough start. I guess that's why I'm saying that, but he should stay with the Cardinals regardless. Cardinals haven't been the most stable in general. Um, I know he's having a rough start overall, and then Michael Wilson has emerged overall. Um, and I feel like the fact that Michael Wilson has emerged and you have Trey McBride, people are looking at it like they should trade him. And to me, it just doesn't make sense. Like I said, the draft capital. Imagine if them three play well together, like them three together would be nice. Jacoby Brissett right now has played well last season. Obviously, it ain't the best, but he's played well to be a backup quarterback stepping in. And honestly, I think he played well enough to show y'all like Trey McBride is really that guy. I mean, he was that guy already, but he's really that guy. And then Michael Wilson stepping up is looking like a wide receiver one the way he looking, but it shows the potential of y'all offense. You know what I'm saying? But there's a lot of work to be done, and I don't think it starts with moving Marvin Harrison. But we can move on from this. Um, AJ Brown. So, like I said, you're gonna see some similarities, right? Patriots is like an obvious one to everybody. They have the money. They're competing. The Mike Vrabel. Oh, that was tough. But the connection with them, it just makes sense. They need a wide receiver one, to be honest. They really do need one, and he'll definitely get the ball. And that seems like Drake May's type of wide receiver as well. Like it seems like it'll be a great matchup. And so yeah, just skip past them. After that, I got the Raiders, Titans, and the Ravens. With the Raiders, if they're gonna get Mendoza, they need a wide receiver one. Now I don't know, I'm not gonna get too much into the logistics of how much value the player is. Like, let's say for example, they're looking for 2 first round picks for AJ Brown. I did hear that at one point, but I don't know if they're still doing it. But with the Raiders, you're not giving up that number 1 pick, obviously, for AJ Brown. So I'm not going to get too much into the logistics. I'm just going to get more into the fit, and I will talk about the logistics a little bit. Um, so yeah, with the Raiders, if they have Mendoza, they have a lot of young weapons in general, and some of them are still in the development stage where they're not really like they're not situated yet, or they're not stable enough to really count on, if that makes sense. So with that, me personally, you need a veteran wide receiver that can be that glue for the team in general. Obviously, you got Brock Bowers. They got a couple wide receivers such as Dante Thornton. They got Jack Beck. Those two I like a lot in general, especially for the value that they got them. I think mm, one of them might have been second round, so they might have to step up a little bit more. I forgot which one was second round. I want to say Jack Beck because I think Dante Thornton was like fourth round. Somebody could fact check me on that, or whatever. I'm gonna probably look it up after, um, but anyways, they need a wide receiver one. I guess they felt like Jacoby Myers wasn't really the wide receiver one, or maybe he wasn't happy, whatever the case is. He wasn't a wide receiver one, anyways. He would have been a great compliment, but this is an actual wide receiver one. Me personally, I'm not the hugest AJ Brown fan, but like I said, I'm just mixing my opinions in with realism to a degree, or just what we see out there. So he is basically a wide receiver one in general. It's not my type of wide receiver one, but hey, Ravens, of course, they just need help in general. Um, I won't sit here and disrespect Zay Flowers in general. I know a lot of people don't really like Zay Flowers, but he's a good wide receiver. But if you can get more size and somebody to complement Zay Flowers, I think that'd be great for Lamar Jackson. And they're in the position to really like make trades because they were able to save on their picks when they got Max Crosby and they got Trey Hendrickson. Max Crosby to me is better, but in terms of the value, because they had to give up 2 first rounds, I'd rather have Trey Hendrickson. And now you got the first round where you can get somebody like AJ Brown if you really want to. That's just an idea. The Titans, I don't think they have another first. No, they don't have another first round. But if they can make something work where they get AJ Brown, that would be great. I know him going back to the Titans might not be the most realistic. Maybe, maybe not. He might go back. But anyways, they need a wide receiver one. And they need to spread the floor out more. Cam Ward is good at throwing a deep ball. He needs more wide receivers that can give him that deep ball threat. But let me know how y'all feel about that, of course. Let's move on to the next. Dexter Lawrence. All right. Apparently he wants more money. I didn't know if that was more of a fugazi type of thing where he's asking for more money, but he wants to stay with the team basically. And it's looking like it's actually like he's moving on, but got some interesting ones for y'all. So start off with my Texans. H Town hold it down. Like I said in my intro, I'm a Texans fan. And all I know is Swarm, man. That's all I know is Swarm. So for the Texans, and like I said, I'm gonna give my opinion on things. Dexter Lawrence fits us, but I don't know if I would want to go for Dexter Lawrence because I feel like it's too much value. Um, First of all, they're gonna want a first round pick. I know our first round pick is a late first round. It's almost a second, but for me, I still want to give up a first round and some other value, and then on top of that, you have to pay him around 30 million when we have to pay Will Anderson and we have Danielle Hunter, who will possibly, especially with a move like this, Danielle Hunter will probably be gone at some point in a year or two. But the point is, I just don't want to pay all that. That's just me, especially when there's good draft capital that you can use to fill in that gap. But obviously, having somebody like him would be monstrous. That would just be monsters. We ain't even got to talk too much about that because if you watch football, you understand that would be monsters. Um, the Bengals, they just need help in general. He would be very great to not only be that nose tackle, but also give some pass rush because we know the Bengals need it. And obviously, they didn't pay Trey Hendrickson, but we can't hold that as a staple. Like, oh, they didn't pay him, so they're not gonna pay Dexter Lawrence because they didn't. The Cowboys didn't pay Micah Parsons, and then they got Quinn Williams, and it's like they'll pay who they want. So if they like Dexter Lawrence better than Trey Hendrickson, and they like, oh, if we get him, we're gonna pay for him because especially if they're trading for him, they're gonna pay for him. So um, he would be a good help. Let's just keep it as that. The Jaguars, I felt like actually I'm gonna say the Jaguars after because I had a trade idea, but the Jets, if people are not noticing, me personally, the Jets defense getting a little sneaky out there. It really is. Um, with the addition of Tavondre Sweat, I think that was a good trade that they got. Um, they added Minka Fitzpatrick. I think they added a linebacker. It's a veteran linebacker. I'm forgetting his name right now, but they added a veteran linebacker. I want to say is it Demarco? Is it Demarcus? I digress, man. I don't want to be stuck on this, but they had a linebacker. And then obviously in this draft they could add even more to make it better. But adding Dexter Lawrence with Travondre Sweat, now they kind of technically play the same position in terms of a nose tackle. But I just thought it'd be interesting because me personally, just being the Jets, if you can get star help anywhere, just get it. Like obviously it got to make sense, but like just you need help regardless is my point. So I wouldn't rule out getting him. I'm not saying that's their number one priority, like go get him now, but I would never rule out a player like him on any team like that. Because if you think about it, the Jets, like I said, low key that defense is getting a little tough. But then if you just get the offense stable enough, or like say you draft a wide receiver or pick up a veteran and Brees Hall, he still plays pretty good like he should. They're they're a solid team in general. I don't want to overhype it. I want to just say solid. Obviously, we'll see how things work out. But as somebody like him, obviously that defense gets tough. And then just wanted to throw a different one out there is my point. But the Jags would be excellent as well. Um they need more like they're a really good run defense team. Um and honestly just being in the same division as them, it would be like a yes and no thing for me because you never really want to see your division rivals like get better. But also, like I said, so much money that's gonna be tied into him. And I'm not saying he's not worth the money. I'm not saying he is worth the money, but there's gonna be so much money tied into him to where for their team, like for the Jags, I can't really think right now if that would makes. I think it makes sense right now because I don't think Jonathan Allen, Trayvon Walker, y'all just paid him. Y'all got rid of Devin Lloyd, who was about to be some money. I don't think nobody else on that defense except for Amik Armstead, which would be nasty. Amik Armstead, Jonathan Allen, Trayvon Walker, and Dexter Lawrence. That would be nasty low key. So that's why I'm thinking y'all go after him. And then even with the trade, your value could probably be a lot better. Like y'all don't really have a first round right now. Well, for this draft, but I know there's always rumors of Brian Thomas, so that's why I ain't put Brian Thomas on here because I was thinking like could do a swap. Obviously, there's gonna have to be some picks involved, and it's probably it most likely is favoring the Giant side with the picks. But y'all could get Brian Thomas because I know that would be something that Malik Neighbors will like, and I know the Giants want a wide receiver. Granted, some Giants fans might not like Brian Thomas. They might not want him as the wide receiver. Like, yes, we need one, but not him. Me personally, I didn't give up on Brian Thomas. I loved Brian Thomas. I kind of wanted him for the Texans when he was getting drafted, but uh, you know, things happen obviously, and it worked out for him in his rookie year. But then after that, it got ugly. Me personally, I think he could still fit with the Jags. I like I said, I didn't give up on him, so I think even with the Jags, just keeping him, I think he's a great fit. But regardless, if they're giving him up, this would be like a nice swap in terms of getting Dexter Lawrence. And like I said, he adds pass rush. The run defense is already great for the Jags, at least for last season. Y'all run defense was great. So you add Dexter Lawrence, it'll get nasty. That's all I can really say, man. But, you know, I'm like positive and negative because like I said, y'all in our division, y'all kind of do get better, but then it's a lot of money. I'll say no in general, just being in your division. I don't want y'all to get better regardless. All right, Anthony Richardson Jr., right? So, like I said, I'm just doing, like I said, my taste's going to be different. So, when you see the team and you, like, for example, you might see Eagles, what? Eagles, like I said, just hear it out and then go ahead and make your decisions. And whatever takes I have, you know, comment and let me know if you like, nah, that one was terrible. Or like say you're an Eagles fan and like because I'm gonna start with the Eagles first, but like, say you're an Eagles fan and you're like, nah, man, that wouldn't make sense because of this, and that, or something, or like you seeing something where you're like, our GM hated Anthony Richardson, so they would never trade for him. Like, cause I feel like I have a lot of IQ when it comes to football, but I'm always be humble. I can always learn. I don't know everything is my points. And then there's some people who are diehard fans for that one team. So you might know something that I don't know is my point. So let me know. But from my basis and my understanding of the game, like I said, I'm gonna start off with the Eagles. Mind you, and these are rumors too. So like when I say this, from what I'm hearing, people are not really wanting to extend Jalen Hurts. So like not extending Jalen Hurts, right? That's what I'm really going off of. That's the only one I'm saying to trade for him. Because, for example, I've seen trades where he's worth a fourth round pick. A lot of teams should take a chance on that. That's one. A fourth round pick, you should take a chance on that. But if you're not going to extend Jalen Hurts, right? And then Anthony Richardson, they don't play the same, but you get what I'm trying to say is like a quarterback that can run, and he has Jalen Hurts. He I don't know. I feel like I want to say he has a cannon, but then it's like after the like throughout the years, it kind of feel like it digressed, or my fault. I just got it to work, man. If I say the wrong words, that's on me. But it just diminished. That's a better word right now. But it seemed like his arm diminished a little bit. If Anthony Richardson could calm down and like really become an adequate quarterback, sheesh, my words is going crazy. But yeah, if he can do that, because y'all gonna have to allocate money everywhere else. Quinion Mitchell, Cooper DeJean. I think I paid Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter already. But there's gonna be money that has to be allocated other places. You can save money at the quarterback position if y'all don't want to extend him and have a quarterback like Anthony Richardson. And y'all usually plan for the future anyway. So if you are looking to possibly get rid of Jalen Hurts, you might want to have him on the bench just for now. Give him a cheap contract and he'll be your starting quarterback. That's if you believe in him and if you feel like you can do something with him. And mind you, he's a little bit more explosive when it comes to running on his feet because Jalen Hurts does that a lot. But that's just an idea, of course. The Steelers, once I didn't put Aaron Rodgers on here on purpose, but he should be going back with the Steelers. If not, he's probably retiring. But um, y'all need a quarterback, obviously. I know y'all have Will Howard on the bench. Y'all got him. I forgot what round y'all got him. And he hasn't really got a proper chance, but obviously he might not get a proper chance because you picked him late. So my thing is basically since he's picked late, like fifth round or something like that, I forgot what it was. That don't mean you have to give him a chance just because you picked them up. Y'all could have you just picking them up. You know what I'm saying? It's just a spot because there's a lot of late rounds that just don't play. Now, if the Steelers actually trade for Anthony Richardson, they probably think like, oh, there's a shot at doing something with him. You know what I'm saying? There's something there, and I don't really got too much to say about it, but it's more of a chance to be honest. If he sits behind Aaron Rodgers, because I expect him to go back for at least a year, at least. Mike Tomlin might have threw it off. I don't know. Especially the way the Texans did them. We put them in a coffin every time we play people. I know y'all be trying to make fun of us, but we be ending people in general. But that's another case. That's another case, man. But anyways, I expect him to come back. He sit behind Aaron Rodgers. Hopefully Aaron Rodgers teach him some stuff. He got to teach him something. And then he take over next year, like I said, on a cheap contract as well. Might not be bad. And that's another reason I got the Falcons as well, because Michael Penix, depending on what type of fan you are, me personally, I'm not a full fan of him. I would have been more of a fan if his value was less. I'm a value guy, so like it just depends on what you got the person for. It depends on how much value you putting into the person or how much you have to rely on the person. Like, does he have to be Superman for your team? Did you get him first round, first pick? It just depends on all of that to me. But Michael Penix, I like him in general, but the fact that the Falcons picked him eighth and then they kind of like their offense kind of relies. Well, I mean, he's a quarterback, so you have to rely on him. But y'all get what I'm trying to say. Like, you either got the Jared Goffs where they're more like system quarterbacks, and that's no shame or nothing towards Jared Goff. And then you got the superhero quarterbacks like Josh Allen who have to do more to win for the team. So my point is, I don't really look at Michael Penix like a system quarterback. That's what he should be. Sorry, y'all. That was my phone. Just uh right now I couldn't even turn it down. But anyways, I don't look at it like that right now because y'all trying to see how much y'all can get out of him since he's young, but it's just well, he's not even that young. That's the other thing. So throw that in. He's not that young. He keeps getting injured. Um, excuse me. He's technically gonna be due for an extension soon. And he hasn't even really proved enough yet. So this just adds QB competition, to be honest. That's really what it is, like adding QB competition. And mind you, when I talk about these players, there are like obvious other places he could go. Like I could have said he could sit behind Matthew Stafford. I mean, yeah, he can. But like, I'm just trying to give y'all stuff that's different. You know what I'm saying? So, QB competition would be good. And I feel like he'll fit the culture in general. Take that how you feel. All right. Alvin Kamara. Let me get the picture out the way. So I know Alvin Kamara said if he got traded, he's retiring basically. So I put that beach picture as retirement. But if he didn't retire, I think he should go to the Bucks or the Ravens. I think he should go somewhere where he's most likely the backup, and he adds just a he's like a change of pace back, but I don't want to make it seem like change of pace like he barely plays. It's like a change of like an ultimate change of pace back. Like he really is like a almost like a 1B, almost like a 1B. So for the Bucks, from the idea that I'm getting, like I said, any Bucks fans, first of all, comment in the chat if you're a Bucks fan. But if you, like I said, if you know more than me or like you can give me some insight onto something, let me know. I'm giving you my output, so you give me your input. You know what I'm saying? So from what it looks like to me, if you ask me, y'all had three good running backs. Like as a committee, I don't like Rashad White that much individually, but as a committee, they were pretty good. So Bucky Irvin, Rashad White, Sean Tucker, two of them are gone. Sean Tucker and Rashad White. You only have Bucky Irvin. Mind you, Bucky Irvin came off an injury, and when he came back off an injury, he wasn't like as explosive as his first year. And that's not to say when he comes back next year he won't be explosive. It looks like the way the setup is, it's like, yo, Bucky about to go off. Could be a trap, might not be. I don't know yet. You know what I'm saying? Because he did come off an injury. And y'all team, I kind of feel bad for y'all, man. So you're going to see your team a couple more times on here. But I do feel bad. It just seems like the team is diminishing. But anyways, adding somebody like Alvin Kamara to help out, I think would be great. Plus, he's a catching back. Y'all need as much help in a receiving end as possible. And then the Ravens, once again, ultimate change of pace back for Derrick Henry, but he would complement Derrick Henry even better than Bucky Irvin, because Bucky Irvin can catch the ball. He has a different style than Derrick Henry, and I feel like throughout the years, Derrick Henry has usually had bad backups. So it's like Justice Hill, Keontae Mitchell. I might be missing one more, but it's usually bad backups in general, and it's like we're for like Derrick Henry has times where he's selling. To be honest, he'll sell in general, fumble or some BS, or he don't get you the yard that you need, whatever it is. Obviously, we know Derrick Henry's a great back. Nobody's perfect, but my point is, I feel like the Ravens are in the midst of like we have to be forced to use him, even in scenarios we don't want to use him. And then there's times where it's like we have to force this running back that we don't really want to use that much. Like Justice Hill, for example. I know y'all didn't really want to use him that much, to be honest. But it's the fact that Derrick Henry is not really a catching back, and we have to, change it up sometimes. So I feel like you're kind of hurting your value of plays or like hurting the potential of plays because of those stuck moments. And sometimes those stuck moments, I'm just calling it that, but those stuck moments be the reason that sometimes I get put in bad predicaments or a loss. So I feel like if you get a really good back, such as Alvin Kamara, who can actually run the ball, he's just not a pass catching back. Like Justice Hill, I don't trust him to actually just grab the ball and just run or tote that ball, whatever you want to call it. I can trust Alvin Kamara, and he's going to catch the ball at the same time. And that's that veteranship as well. It's not like he's a rook or something like that. I think it would be a great change of pace for y'all. And then let's say Derrick Henry get injured or something like that, which he doesn't, but it's football. You just never know. And he's getting older. But he gets injured. You want a Justice Hill starting? It's like I'd rather have an Alvin Kamara. But like I said, that depends on if he even wants to play. But I think he would fit, especially like the Ravens culture. I think he'll rock with that. Especially with the RPOs that can happen with him and Lamar Jackson. It'll open up holes for him. Um, yeah, Cole Komet, my fault. I was a little thrown off from the picture. And like I said, the slides are gonna catch me off guard because I made them. Now I'm just like going off of my mind. I don't have no notes written down and stuff. So I'm just going off the pictures. The pictures remind me of what to talk about. But Cole Komet, um, seems like me personally, they drafted Colston Loveland pretty high. So I would say they don't really. I ain't gonna say they gave up on Cole Komet, but they don't really believe in him as much. And I feel like he didn't really get a fair shot in general, even starting off with Justice Fields, Justin Fields. I feel like the team didn't really have like this is like the first year y'all really got stability for real. To me, like this was stability last year. The year before was somewhat stability, but your quarterback was still figuring stuff out. He was taking a lot of sacks. Now it was some stability. So I feel like throughout the years he was never having any stability throughout the teams. Now when y'all have stability, y'all replace them with a tight end. Mind you, the tight end is better, but I feel like a team take him from the Bears, and he's most likely gonna be cheap anyways. And I can't even tell you how old bro is. Actually, I might as well look it up real quick. How old is it? Because I know he's not that old. Um, I just feel like it's a good chance. It's a good chance to take. He's 27. I thought he was a little younger, but you still in your prime at 27. And mind you, he doesn't have that much wear and tear in general. But a team take him for cheap, and he could be a 1A 1B, or he could just be your one. Because for example, let me start off with the Bengals. The Bengals don't really need him to catch the ball that much. You have Jamar Chase and T Higgins, but it's like when one of them sitting down, he can step up more. I feel like that's a perfect role for him because they do need more help on that tight end space. Um, who did they have at tight end last year? Was it no? I think it was Noah Fant, and obviously you could do better than that. So that's just one team right there. He'd be perfect for it to be that number one tight end, but he doesn't have to necessarily be a one for real, for real. Now, with the Vikings, he's that number one. He can be that number one tight end. I know T.J. Hawkinson is still there, but he don't gotta like. He doesn't have to do too much. That's what these situations are. He doesn't really have to do too much, but it's like step up when people are injured. You got Justin Jefferson, you got Jordan Addison, um, and then T.J. Hawkinson. I think they got rid of Jalen Naylor. I did like Jalen Naylor, but anyways, you're here to compliment. Then mind you, he can take over for T.J. Hawkinson because obviously he was coming off an injury. I don't know what was going on in terms of like when he came back. Vikings fans, if I got any Vikings fans, let me know what was going on when he came back because that was a little. Maybe he just didn't fully recover. That's what I'm kind of thinking in my head. He didn't fully recover, and your team was a little unstable with 9 in the back. You know what I'm saying? So you know, give him a chance is my point. Seahawks, same thing. You got JSN, obviously. I don't know if they keep in Cooper Cup. I think he's staying. Torrey Horton, he probably gonna step up in general. I've seen a lot of opportunities where they wanted Torrey Horton to step up. He just wasn't fully ready yet, I want to say, but he's a rookie and he was a late round. But y'all have y'all core in general, but I just feel like, oh, and then the other tight end you have, I forgot his name. Oh, no, no, no. Scratch that, y'all. See, this what I mean. I don't have my notes, and I'm kind of just like winging it. So like now that I'm thinking about the Seahawks, y'all got Elijah Arroyo. Granted, you can still add Cole Kmet just to add. You know what I'm saying? It's never bad to have a couple tight ends because you have another tight end. I forgot his name, but he one of them people that I don't bet y'all. I don't do sports gambling, but he's one of them people that you put on the slip and just get a random touchdown from him. I forgot his name, but Seahawks fans comment on the video, man. I know y'all probably did one bet with him on there, and he's got the touchdown. But y'all have two tight ends. Elijah Arroyo, I like him a lot too. But like I said, adding another tight end just to add more um, receiving threats because Cooper Cup isn't Cooper Cup anymore, and then Torrey Horton, like I said, he's still trying to get himself together. So it's still something to add. But the Rams, just to get into the Rams, Devontae Adams, Puka Nakua. Obviously, those are, they're going to get most of the targets regardless. So same situation. You just got to play your role. Granted, they have a tight end as well, Terrence Ferguson. I actually like Terrence Ferguson in general. Not to say he's like a star or something, but he's somebody to add into the arsenal. And then, like I said, you have Cole Kmet. I think they have a veteran, but he's more for blocking. I think I forgot his name right now, but put his name in the comments as well, Rams fans. And but yeah, the Rams always want tight ends. They always want a tight end. That's why they got Terrence Ferguson. But like, I just think the timeline of Terrence Ferguson developing is not quick enough with the Rams timeline because y'all are in competing mode and you can't really rely on Terrence Ferguson. So I think adding another tight end would just help the room, like in general. And then sometimes you could go double tight end and have Puka Nakua and Devontae Adams on the outside. I think that'd be wonderful for y'all. And mind you, with all these teams that I just named, Cole Kmet is going to be cheap. He's not really going to. I mean, if I'm not the Bears GM, I'm just the social media GM. You know what I'm saying? So if the Bears GM is taxing people, I'm just going to say something egregious. But let's say he's like, I need a second round for Cole Kmet. Nobody should be going for him. But I expect Cole Kmet to be cheap, and these type of teams could take advantage of that. And like I said, I'm trying to put it in like realistic areas where like Cole Kmet could still compete and still contribute. You know what I'm saying? Like, but obviously it is what it is. But those are some good teams right there though. All right, Devin Achan. I wouldn't even put him on here until like Jaden Waddle got traded. You never know. They could do a full rebuild because I'm hearing that there's a lot of negotiation problems with the contract. So there is a chance, is my point. And with that chance, the Seahawks. Let's start off with them. Me personally, I wouldn't do it as the Seahawks. I wouldn't do it. Reason being, well, I would do it, but the reason being that I'm saying no is because y'all just got rid of Kenneth Walker when y'all could have kept him and just paid him. Because this would be giving up draft capital and still paying him. So I just feel like that wouldn't have made sense. Granted, your GM, like I said, I'm just a social media GM. Y'all might hear that a lot. I don't know why. That's just funny. But the Seahawks GM, they might just think like K9 wasn't really like that reliable or like that healthy. We know he's good, but he wasn't that healthy. And they like, they might be like, we just want some speed in a playmaker, and obviously that's what Devin Achan does. And he's more of a catching back as well. They might favor that, and that might be why. Sorry, they want to pay him and trade for him. Because like I said, we can't just because they got rid of K9 does not mean Devin Achan is out of the question. Because a lot of teams, like I said, Trey Hendrickson going to the Ravens, Micah Parsons. There's a lot of times where it looks like it's a backwards move, but they do it. So I see him going there in general, but I wouldn't want that to happen in general. The Jags, I definitely wouldn't want that to happen. To be honest, that I'd rather Dexter Lawrence. Reason being is because their offense, especially when Trevor Lawrence was on fire, their offense was really looking wonderful. So adding Devin Achan, that's not only speed, but that'd just be nasty. And the thing about it is, I don't know if we have like I said, if you're a Jags fan, comment in the comments, man. I need all the fans to comment. But y'all might believe in Bashan Tootin. I don't. And mind you, he was a later pick, I believe, too. Let me make sure of that one. I kind of want to check that one. I forgot how you spell his name. Bashan. Is it Bashan Tootin? My fault if I spelled it wrong. It's all right, man. And the NFL draft pick or NFL draft selection, I should have said. 104th pick. So what is that? That's in the fourth round. So yeah, he was a fourth rounder. Granted, them getting rid of, I mean, they let Travis Etienne or HN, as he tried to say. That's funny because we replacing HN with an HN. That's stuff that the NFL would do. But Travis, they let him go. And like I said, maybe he just wasn't the type of back we want to pay. Like, yeah, we like Etienne. I'm gonna call him Etienne though. I know he said HN, but we like Travis Etienne, but we don't want to pay him that much. Excuse me. This back they might want to pay. They might want to pay. And like I said, he brings that speed too. That speed, like, cause Travis Etienne was like, I don't know. He's like a I want to just say like a pace type of running back. Like, yeah, he was fast. He for sure was fast, but like he wasn't like strong. He was definitely a catching back. Like, it was like a certain pace about him. Like, I don't know why. It's like something about it. But he's good though. Now this is a better catching back if you ask me. And he's faster. And he's younger. And he's at the moment more durable because he doesn't really miss games. I know he's small and people be thinking he's gonna get injured, but he doesn't miss games. So I would not want that. That offense would be nasty. That'd be too nasty. But and I'll get rid of Tootin at that point. You can have Tootin. We'll give you another pick or something like that. I wouldn't give up too much, but and then I'll just get a veteran that we can a power back like a veteran. I'll get Najee Harris at that point. I'll just take Najee Harris. He'll give me 1 or 2 yards, or like a Kareem Hunt. You're gonna give me 1 or 2 yards if I need it. But the Rams, the Rams was a funny one. I know it's like Rams. Why them at least? Me personally, it just feels like with like Kyron Williams. Yes, he's gonna do a good enough job, but then it's not good enough. That's what it feels. And mind you, that's not to say Kyron Williams is bad. It's just with the Rams, it just feels like he does good enough, but it's not good enough. And y'all, when y'all watch the games, y'all know what I'm talking about. He might drop a pass, but then sometimes he'll catch a good pass, and then like he'll fumble, but then he might make a good run. And mind you, there's not really any times where he really makes a play. And what I mean by that, I mean like breakout plays, like he's running for 40 yards. He's not that type of back. I think y'all need more explosion in that area. Y'all are looking for it in Blake Corum. I didn't forget about Blake Corum, trust me. But like, and he did it a little bit more this year. So now that I think about it, all right, Rams fans, comment in the chat if Blake Corum is like a mix, like a power kind of speed back in a sense, or explosive power back in a sense. If it's enough power in Blake Corum, I would 100% trade Kyron Williams. I would 100% because you get that explosive speed where you can get those playmaking abilities because they're so worried about Puka Nakua and Devontae Adams that Devin Achan, especially with that blocking, he's just out of there. He's out of there. And if Blake Corum can just get you those short yardage while still being able to explode out the backfield, and mind you, they both can catch. I think that just adds another dynamic to the offense. To be honest, like I would rather do that. That's just me because Kyron, like I said, he does good, but it's not good enough, especially when you're trying to compete. I'm good off him. All right, now we have Brandon Ayuk. To me, it just feels like it's like 100% that he's gonna get traded. It feels like it. Maybe it doesn't happen. Maybe it does. But let's go through it. So Titans just need help, and I feel like mainly they need more deep threat help. Brandon Ayuk works in the intermediate area. He like 15 yards, 13 yards, 17, like in that type of area. He has short route ability, but he's more like intermediate in general. But I just feel like Cam Ward needs more deep threats in general. It don't matter if it's intermediate, it don't matter if it's like 30 yards, whatever it is. He just needs more deep threats. And Brandon, and mind you, Brandon Ayuk, it's not the same game, but I guess you can say it kind of resembles Calvin Ridley because that's what he is. He's like intermediate, but Calvin Ridley just be inconsistent. So there's a chance of that, but that's not even the number one team I would have put him on. Some of these other teams need more help. The Saints are looking for a wide receiver. If they didn't want to pick a wide receiver higher in the draft, I would pick up Brandon Ayuk. I think he would complement well in that in the Saints wide receiver core. He's similar to like Chris Olave and things like that. I'm not saying they have the same play style. Let me just make sure because people on the internet like to take like to go word for word. Like if I'm saying he's similar to Chris Olave, they think I'm saying he's as good as Chris Olave, or they literally play the same. I just mean skinnier route running wide receivers that work in the intermediate area. That's what I kind of mean. And Chris Olave can go deep, like more of the deep range area than Brandon Ayuk, but that's just their type of game. So they will complement each other. Granted, you might want more of a complement complementary wide receiver with sorry, I'm messing up my words, but what I'm trying to say is you might want somebody that complements Chris Olave's weaknesses, like maybe he does other things, which I'm gonna get to somebody later, but I still think it works out regardless. Is my point. Y'all get my drift. I don't want to stay too long on the Saints, but had to show them some love. Shout out to the Saints fans out there. Let me hear y'all in the comments as well. So yeah, the Bucks, man, the Bucks just need help, man. I don't even want to say too much, but like Mike Evans is gone. Chris Godwin, he just be injured too much. This might have been Jalen McMillan. It's like one Jalen Naylor, Jalen McMillan. Those are the two names that I get mixed up. But I don't know if he's gone or not. He might still be there. But y'all just need help, man. There's a lot of wide receiver options that you can get. And mind you, I wouldn't want to rely on Emeka Buka too much. He had a phenomenal first half of the season. The second half was kind of drifting off. So just get some veteran help in there. I just think that would just help overall. Commanders, Jaden Daniels has some type of connection with Brandon Ayuk. So that would work out in general. And like I said, they need more wide receiver help. They be trying to rely on Terry McLaurin too much, and then bro be injured. Like they both be injured. Jaden Daniels be injured, he be injured. Like they just need more help in general. And it would be I think it would be a good fit in general. Plus, like I said, they know each other. So I think it would be like a good, chemistry. It'd be good chemistry. And then the Falcons, I think he would complement Drake London very well. Just Drake London being that big body wide receiver, he'd be more of that shifty intermediate wide receiver to complement. It's kind of like when Darnell Mooney was. I don't know if he's still there or not. I don't know if he left this season, but kind of like Darnell Mooney. But Mooney was like more deep field. But mind you, Brandon Ayuk is better, of course. Um, Now I don't know if him going to the Falcons would be the best for the locker room because of how he's acting, and then it's Atlanta. I don't know, just with the environment, it might work out better with like the Commanders or like the Saints or the Bucks in general. But like I said, I'll take a chance. Like, and it just depends. Like I said, it depends on people value what their worth is. I'm taking a chance, but that's just me. All right, we're done with the trades. Now we on notable remaining free agents. These are the notable remaining free agents that I have. Um, Granted, comment if y'all want to hear somebody else, because there were a couple other names that after I made this PowerPoint, I was like, oh yeah, I should have probably threw them in there. But let me know if y'all want to hear about somebody else. But I was just like, you know what? Let me talk about these four. So Debo Samuel, Stephon Diggs, Joey Bosa, and Jawan Jennings. Let's get it. So Stephon Diggs, I got four teams for him. Ravens. People always want to put Ravens as like the wide receiver graveyard. That's how they try to say it. Like this a wide receiver graveyard. Stephon Diggs still got a lot in the tank. He still got a lot. He had 1,000 yards last year, and people were making it seem like he sucked. He was one of the top wide receivers in the AFC. It's just the fact of his off field stuff that be going on. But I think the Ravens they do a pretty good job in the locker room in terms of like even if they have knuckleheads, like they do well with that. And like I said, this is not no wide receiver graveyard thing. This is just like Lamar needs more help. So that's one. Like I said, the Bucks always gonna be on here, man. Like they just need help. It just looks. I know there's other things, and I'm not trying to talk bad about the Bucks. So shout out to those Buccaneer fans out there. But it's just not looking well. And then Baker Mayfield, I just kind of feel bad for him, especially when your weapons haven't been reliable. Like Mike Evans missed games, Chris Godwin missing the whole season almost. And then like I say, Buka rookie. Like you just need some more consistent help. Stephon Diggs is gonna play well in general. The Raiders. Now for the Raiders. I think it'll be a good pickup because, like I said, Mendoza, it would be good for him to have veteran help. That's why even with AJ Brown being a wide receiver one, veteran help would be great for him because Brock Bowers is young, and then the other wide receivers that I named before, Jack Beck, Dante Thornton, they're young. Now, Stephon Diggs being added may take away from their development, especially Jack Beck, because I feel like they're two of the same in a sense. In a sense, like they 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 elevate their game in the slot, but they probably well, I know Stephon Diggs can play on the outside, but Jack Beck can probably play on the outside. But the point is they elevate the game in the slot. So if Stephon Diggs is holding the slot a lot, Jack Beck won't really play. Dante Thornton will most likely play because he's outside and he's fast and he's big. So most likely he would play. But and that's the opposite with AJ Brown. Like AJ Brown might take away from Dante Thornton, but that can elevate Jack Beck. So it just depends on what route you want to go with that. But regardless, I think some type of veteran help is needed. Um and in the Cardinals, I think that one was like a little different right there as well because Michael Wilson and Marvin Harrison can both play on the outside. They're outside receivers and they're big. They're big outside receivers. If you have somebody like Stephon Diggs in the middle, especially with Trey McBride as well, and mind you, that wide receiver core is young. Once again, wide receiver experience, wide receiver vet that can help, just balance things out in general. I think that would be great for them, like especially the way they play. And Stephon Diggs doesn't have to be a superhero, but mind you, when games are close and they need him, he can step up as that wide receiver, just like he was doing with the Patriots, just like he was doing with the Texans when he was with us. Like I think that would be great for them, to be honest. And then play another year with Jacoby Brissett, get you a actual quarterback with that wide receiver room. I mean, can't fail, especially if y'all work on your O line. To be honest, Debo Samuel though, I got these three teams for him. Like I said, just trying to give y'all stuff that's different. Michael Pittman gone. Let's start with the Colts. Michael Pittman gone. You got Josh Downs, and you got Alex Pierce. So with them two, I feel like Debo would help out. One, we know Debo getting older. It didn't work out for the Commanders, for whatever reasoning. But he still got a little juice left. Is the point? You still got, as long as you got a little juice left, you can be helpful. So with the Colts, I feel like having that gadget player because they was kind of trying to make Josh Downs that gadget player. From what, like I said, Colts fans, let me know how y'all feeling. Let me know about my take. But they were trying to make him that gadget player. He did have some one-on-one opportunities, or he did have some, like deep ball opportunities in general. But I feel like they was making him more of a gadget player. Debo can come in as that actual gadget player and that vet for them. Alex Pierce, obviously, he do his thing. 20 catches, 1,000 yards for whatever reason. And Josh Downs can play like his game at that point. He can be intermediate. He could go for a deep ball sometimes. He could play the short range because y'all already got that gadget slash short range person already with Debo Samuel. So with Michael Pittman, Josh Downs had to kind of be more of that gadget player, if anything. So I think that would help y'all a lot, especially with Daniel Jones and Jonathan Taylor. I think wide receiver reverses, wide receiver fakes, and all, like just the manipulation in the backfield can go a long way with that. The Saints, same thing. I think all of these situations are gadget players, to be honest. And mind you, there are other teams, like I said, that excuse me, sorry y'all. There are other teams where it would make sense, but these are like my top teams for the player. So the Saints, Chris Olave, you got a lot of intermediate deep ball type of players. That gadget player, mind you, he's a big body too. That gadget player, it just makes sense. And it just kind of opens the playbook in general and just adds more to the arsenal instead of just like I don't know, instead of being one dimensional. That's kind of like what the Saints feel like is one dimensional. So it will add up more plays. And then the Cowboys would be perfect. I think the Colts and the Cowboys are my top two. The Saints would be third, but you got CeeDee Lamb, you got George Pickens. Those are your main threats. You got your gadget player. Plus, he can do a little in the return game since you lost Jalen Tolbert. Jalen Tolbert better in the return game most likely, but my point is he just has a lot of hats that he can use with y'all. And mind you, veteran presence. It just makes sense. Like it really makes sense. And mind you, being versatile and opening up that playbook, and y'all can stop with this nigga Debo Samuels. My fault, y'all. But with him, y'all can stop making CD Lamb that gadget player. Like all that trying to make him a gadget player and he injuring himself, trying to do wide receiver runs and stuff like that. Go ahead and just do Debo Samuel, bro. That was pissing me off. And you got Juwan Jennings, right? And mind you, I switched this up pretty well, and I think it actually fits. Patriots, you get a bigger body, veteran presence. So I think that'd be well for him, especially in jump ball situations or just third and long situations. We already know third and Jennings. That'd be perfect. Obviously, like let's say you get AJ Brown, that doesn't stop you from still adding Juwan Jennings. Like I don't think you add AJ Brown, you're like, oh yeah, we're good. I would add somebody like Juwan Jennings. It don't got to be him specifically, but regardless, I think he'll help. The Bills, you got DJ Moore, you got Khalil Shakir. I'm emphasizing them two because Juwan Jennings will be on the other side. Now we know we know in the first round you got Keon Coleman, and it just depends on how you feel. So like Juwan Jennings still fits. Regardless if you're a Keon Coleman fan and y'all like, no, I didn't give up on him. We still can do something with him. All right, you feel like that, right? Juwan Jennings can come off the bench. Somebody gets injured or somebody's not playing well or just that veteran that just comes in anyways. He come off the bench. You give up on Keon Coleman. He need to develop a little bit. Juwan Jennings start. Let Keon Coleman come off the bench. I think it works out regardless. And like I said, that he's the type of player that y'all need because Keon Coleman's supposed to be that deep threat and that third and long and go up and get the ball. We need you type thing. So it's like that he fits the role in terms of doing that. So I don't see what, and mind you, especially if he's cheap, I don't see what would be wrong with that. And then we got Joey Bosa. I thought these were interesting as well. Obviously the Bengals had to be up here. Let me just get them out the way. They just need help on defense. They didn't pay Trey Hendrickson, but or yeah, I think I said his name right. They didn't pay him, but hey, it's just like it is what it is, man. If you could get Joey Bosa to help, why not? It's a pass rusher. Especially if you ain't got to pay him 30 million or whatever. I wouldn't even pay him 20 million. But the Lions on the other side of Aiden Hutchinson, I think for the last 2 years they've been looking for somebody on the other side. If you could get somebody for the short term, at least for now, why not get Joey Bosa? And I think that would be pretty good for y'all. I know most people might shy away from him, such as myself. I would shy away from him just because he be injured and stuff. But my point is, when you could get help, just get help. Like I'd rather have some help than no help. So if last 2 years I've been looking for somebody on the other side of Aiden Hutchinson, I'll just take Joey Bosa at this point. And then the Cowboys. Cowboys looking for a pass rusher, even though they got rid of Micah Parsons. They didn't want to pay him. So if you can get him for cheap or like a medium, because I know the Cowboys are looking to trade up possibly, and they're looking for an edge rusher. This could fill that gap for now, at least, to where you can focus on the other aspects of defense. You can get a linebacker, you can get a safety, or whatever the case is. And Joey Bosa, all you gotta do is worry about pass rushing, because y'all need pass rushing. So, you know, those are my takes. That's all, folks. Whatever he said. Those are my takes, though. Like, comment, share, and like I said, I always try to do something Christian wise. I try to read a verse. So if anybody wants to stay just to hear a word, you can stay. But thanks for watching my video. I do appreciate all creatures. It don't matter who you are. I appreciate you for watching my video, and I hope you like, comment, share, subscribe. I definitely want to get feedback, like I said, in the community, so I could figure out things and get better in general. But yeah, let's get to this word for the people that's waiting, and we're gonna be in Ecclesiastics chapter 7 verse 12, and this time I put it up for y'all just in case you just want to see it. But sometimes get y'all Bible out, sometimes get y'all phone out. You know what I'm saying? So here we go. For wisdom is protection, just as money is protection. But the advantage of knowledge is that wisdom keeps its possessors alive. All right. With this, it's as simple as wisdom is protection. It's as simple as that. But also wisdom is just something that fools don't have, is my point. Fools don't have wisdom. And the Bible talk about wisdom and fools a lot. They're on the opposite ends. So like wisdom is like the knowledge that you get from God. That's true wisdom. Fools don't want that knowledge, or they don't want God to give them that because they want their own knowledge. They want to do their own thing. So that's why it says, but the advantage of knowledge is that wisdom keeps its possessors alive. And mind you, while I'm reading it on the screen, I just double wrote is that wisdom. I just now read that. Sorry, y'all. It's just supposed to be is that wisdom. But anyways, sorry about that. I don't like to get the scriptures wrong. But wisdom keeps you alive, and what they mean by that is like they don't mean like, oh, if I have wisdom I won't die, or if I have wisdom I'll live longer. Keeping you alive is just in like keeping your spirit alive, keeping you in heaven. So like if I have wisdom, if I have the knowledge of God, and I obviously you got to use it properly, I'll go to heaven. Fools, they want to use their own wisdom. They don't want to follow what God wants him to do or wants us to do. So they won't be alive. Obviously, you know what that means. Um, separate places. But that's basically what that's about in a short reference. I just hope that helps you out. Wisdom is key, y'all. Just listen to what God got to say, basically, man. And yeah, I appreciate y'all once again. Comment if you like the word. You can say amen, anything. I appreciate it. And I hope to see y'all pretty soon again. I'm trying to get another video out. Maybe like this video will be out Tuesday. I'm gonna have a video out Thursday or Friday at least. Max, to be honest. But all right, see y'all.